Hey everybody, welcome back to the ZimmGeek channel. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman, and today it's going to be a lesson in cartooning. This is Cartooning 101D, Cartooning Clothing. And don't forget the rules of cartooning. All you need is paper and pencil. Make sure you draw light because we're going to erase a lot. And don't get frustrated. Ready? Here we go. And we are here to cartoon some clothing. So in order to do that, we are gonna have to start with that body again. All the way back in video 2, we went through this where you have a head, neck, body. There's all sorts of different ways to draw a body. Arms that are just expanded ovals from the shoulder to the elbow, from the elbow to the wrist to the hand is a circle. Same thing with the legs, down to the knee, a little thicker than the arm obviously, and the foot being a half circle or thereabouts, stuck flat to the floor. Also said exaggeration is the key to being funny. If you watch the 4th video, we went through the basics on drawing the head, and the 6th video adding expressions. The big thing to remember about cartooning that body is that you don't want to just get your point across, but everything that you have this character wearing is a key to understanding this character. Whether he's outside having fun, whether he's in the cold, his environment, whatever, you want that clothes to fit his environment or not, depending upon what point you want to get across. Sometimes he might be dressed in shorts and be outside freezing cold. It's entirely up to you. The big key here is to have a lot of fun, and the second big key here is to remember that on the paper your character is round. Like we showed with the head, if you're going to have him looking sideways, you're going to use curved lines. You're going to want to use curved lines for clothing also, and as much as you can in order to show the shape of that character. Even if he's skinny, even if he's, well, especially if he's super round. If you ever take a look at Patrick from SpongeBob, you'll see his shorts, not a straight line across that belly. Nice dip curved line to show that he's got a large belly. So we're going to throw some clothes on him. The other big thing to remember about clothes is that gravity is always in motion. Unless you're a scuba diver, a swimmer, or a superhero, very unlikely you're going to have a skin-tight suit on. So your clothes are going to hang off you, and there are going to be key wrinkles in key areas. All right? If you're drawing short sleeves, you're going to want to show a curved line around that arm. You're going to want to bring the bottom of the sleeve up under the arm, and then you're going to go through and erase the part of the body that nobody sees anymore because the shirt's in the way. If you're doing a long sleeve, you're going to probably show a few wrinkles here at the elbow. You're going to draw the sleeve, and remember, gravity is in motion, so it's probably going to hang down a little bit. It's going to come right up to the sleeve itself, or the cuff of the sleeve, and then again, you're going to take your eraser, and you're going to erase all of the parts that the sleeve is in front of. You're also going to erase where the two parts of the arm come together. Over on your short sleeve, you're probably going to leave, or you're going to want to leave a little wrinkle on that arm right there, because if you look, your elbow has that bend, plus, or the other side of your elbow has that bend, plus your elbow here, which can be anything from a corner to a knob, depending upon how funny you want your character to be taken. Now, if you've ever seen Fred Hembeck's illustrations, Fred Hembeck always uses elbows and knees that look like that, which is part of his style. It's something that he's developed over many years of drawing. And I don't recommend you copy somebody's style, but I do recommend that you keep drawing and drawing and drawing until you develop your own. Now, the collar on the shirt, all sorts of different ways to draw collars. If it's just a T-shirt, you're going to use a U. Pure and simple. If you're going to use a V-neck, guess what you're going to use? Oh, of course, you're going to use a V. Now, if you're drawing a collared shirt, like a polo shirt or a dress shirt, that's going to wrap around the back of the neck. And there's all sorts of different ways to draw that. If you check and see how everybody else does it, there's a lot of different ways to do it. And again, you're going to erase those lines that nobody sees anymore because that collar is in front of the way. There, the collar is in the way. Shading is entirely up to you. It's just a way of showing things in front, pushing things behind, and showing a light source. Right here, you might want to add a little wrinkle. The big key to wrinkles, though, is that if you add a lot, the more that you add, the more unkempt he's going to look. I'd probably put a couple little lines there for his belly. Now, showing his belly, you want to show some shape, just like I mentioned with Patrick. You're going to dip it just a little bit. Even if it's tucked into his pants, it's still going to have a little bit of that dip. Now, we're going to tuck this guy's shirt in. And in order to do that, you're probably going to have a little wrinkle that's going to pop around both sides of the belly, maybe a few wrinkles along the way. And it probably isn't going to be dipped quite as much as if it was hanging outside of the shirt. Then you're going to want to draw in that belt. And again, when it comes to fashion, all sorts of different ways to do it. There's no wrong way to do it as long as it looks right, as long as it looks right to you. For a belt, just lines, curved lines. Again, you want to show curved lines. You want to show a curve here for the belt loop. You want to show a curve here for the belt. When you go to draw pants, it's the same thing as drawing shirts. If you're going to put them in shorts, it's going to hang down just a little bit. Gravity is in play. It's going to curve. It's going to come right back up. And then you're going to erase the part of the body and the part of the leg that the pants are in front of. If he's wearing long pants, it's going to come down. There's probably going to be a little wrinkle here at the knee. It's going to come down or flare out as much as you want down to the ankle. You know, if he's an older 60s dude or more, depending upon the style you want him to wear, you can always flare those out. And again, curved line here to show the dimension of the leg. And then you will go through and erase the lines that the pants are in front of. You're probably going to want to leave a little bit there for the bottom of the body. Everything else is entirely style and entirely up to you and the amount of fun that you want to have with it. If you want to draw in a cargo pocket here on the side, regular pocket, draw in a fly, another pocket, draw a stripe down his leg, that is entirely up to you. Okay, now on to shoes. Just like with pants, just like with shirts, all sorts of different styles. And it gets even crazier when you get into shoes or tennis shoes or types of boots. If you got him in a tennis shoe or sneaker, it's probably flat to the floor. Everything else is all decoration. Now, the big thing to remember when you're drawing that shoe is that if you're going to be doing that character over and over again, you better make sure that shoe style stays constant. So you can always tell by the shoes. You can add some laces in there if you want. You can do whatever you need to do. Take a look at how other people draw shoes. And boots, same thing, only taller. Keep in mind that leg, you want to show the leg is round. Go in and draw that in. I'm going to give this guy a superhero boot that's going to be folded over. There's probably going to be a little heel here. There'll be a little bit in the front. And that line wasn't perfect. Remember, you're not always going to be drawing perfect lines. Not everything you do is going to be 100%. That's why you always do pencils before you do inks. And we'll be getting into inks here in a future class. Okay, basic clothes. There we go. Now, how about females? If we start with a female body, slightly different curves, of course. Not every person has the same body style. Now, if you're going to draw a female, you're probably going to be looking at a slightly thinner build, tighter waist, skinnier legs, smaller feet. Doesn't always hold true. It's all up to you to define your character and to draw in those muscles. Now, if you notice here, I threw in a calf muscle here. That was up higher. For cartooning's sake, you can do whatever you need to do in order to get your point across. Arms are usually thinner, not always. All sorts of different body styles, and I would totally suggest that you study different body styles in order to know them. And again, slightly smaller hands. That head Doesn't look 100% there. Boom, boom, boom. We went through hair last or 2 videos ago. When you're drawing a dress, same basic idea. You bring it down however long it is, and you erase the parts of the body that the dress is in front of. Very simple. Collars, all sorts of different ways to draw dress collars. Mandarin collars, kind of my favorite. And there's a belt. There's all sorts of different styles, and I would suggest that you look around. The more you draw, the more you notice, the more you look at life in general in order to get your inspiration. There's all sorts of different places for inspiration, and I totally encourage you to find as many different inspirations as possible. Take a look as many different artists, many different styles, many different time periods. Now, we're going to put her in heels. And the way you show that, normally that foot is going to be set up like a triangle. Even from the front, it's kind of a triangle with a flat top. Toes go here, obviously. That's a really quick foot. The farther along you go, especially the more detailed you're going to make your body, the more detailed that foot's going to be. Keep in mind that heels usually have the heel up and the front of the foot down. So you would make that heel pretty close to that, and then draw in the shoe however you see fit. Again, especially when it comes to female styles, there's all sorts, all kinds. Nothing is incorrect, though I do recommend, if you're in school, that you stay school appropriate at all times. That's one of the lessons we always end up having to go through in class. And then again, you just erase the lines that you don't need. And then when you go through and you ink it up, when you go to your inking stage to make things darker, you'll go through and dress that up a little tighter. Jewelry, again, is going to hang off. It's going to hang down. Gravity is usually always in play unless they're floating or flying. That, again, is up to you. Now, when you go to draw in a hat, just like we covered with hair, hair doesn't just sit on top of the head or in back of the head. It's also going to sit in front of the head. If you go to draw in a hat, you're going to have to draw the hat in not just on top of the head, but over the hair. So you're going to go in and draw in whatever you need for a hat. There are all sorts of different styles. I'm just pulling this one out of my head, so forgive me if it doesn't look 100% right. And you'll just go through and tighten things up from there. All right, easy enough. I think that's it for clothing, except to remember that it sits on the body, around the body. You're going to want to always erase the parts that you don't want anybody to see. Of course, you can always touch that up when you go through on your inking stage. If you're just using pencil, then you'll want to touch it up as you see fit. The key to all of this is to have fun. Have fun, play around. Enjoy yourself. Look at life. Okay? If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Next class, we're going to cover hands. So we'll finally get to hands, so you don't have to keep using those circles. But those circles are very important, and we will get into cartoon hands next. It's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you learned a little bit today. Let me know in the comments section one way or the other. Very interested in your opinions. I'm not getting enough of them. So please feel free to comment. Please feel free to tell your friends. There are free cartooning lessons right here on the ZimmGeek channel every even video. All right, we're going to do a little bit more cartooning, a little bit more. We're going to start getting more detailed, start drawing some superheroes, start drawing some superhero action, and then get into some sequential art. All right? Okay. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Please ring the bell for notifications. Definitely give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed yourself today. Don't be afraid to watch these instructional videos over and over again. You'll never know what you're going to pick up on the second or third pass, all right? And tell your friends about my channel. We just passed 50 subscribers within 2 weeks. Very happy for that. I'm looking forward to adding a whole lot more and can't do that without your help. All right? So until next time, take care. And thanks a lot for being here.